Hello, I'm Nicole Vincent, and welcome to this sample session of a full session with me. Today we are working with Teri. Teri, what are we going to be focusing on today for your session?
We're going to hopefully help me sleep better and get rid of some tension and anxiety.
Awesome, awesome. So we're going to be going through testing and seeing how we can help energetically shift Teri to help her feel better and help her live her best life. So Teri, we're going to start out with your starting frequency. This is not like a measurable number. This is just kind of a gauge to see where you're a starting point and then where you end up after the session to see how your body responds to the work that we're doing. So starting off above 100. Okay, 300. 343. That's where we're starting out. So let's see where we're going to start. Are they all connected? Yes. Do we need to separate them out? Yes. So we're going to separate them out by concern and address them individually, even though it feels like there's a lot of overlap. We're going to see what needs to happen. And you're going to see me with my hands moving down here. I'm just muscle testing.
Okay.
And you'll see me look over to the side, and that's where I have my lists. I need to make sure I have my glasses handy because I might need them. My 40-year plus eyes need a little help sometimes.
Right.
And I will be taking notes and sending you notes after this. So you're welcome to take notes if you want.
Actually, I'm going to grab a piece of paper because I do want.
Okay, you grab notes and we'll get started here. Okay, so we're going to start with your focusing on the sleep. And I feel like if we can get your sleep healed, then the other stuff will help fall into place. Because when we don't sleep well, or we're sleeping under the aid of some kind of medication or something, our body doesn't rest as well. And sometimes we need that. Trust me, I've been on, I think, every sleep thing under the sun.
Right. But it's just the years in a row is a problem.
It's huge. Like, it's huge when we're not getting sleep, how the toll that it takes on us physically, emotionally, spiritually, it wears us down. And that's what we're gonna look at today. So where do we need to start with Teri's sleep? We're gonna start with some personal stuff. There's actually a block to healing that's coming up. This one is connected to a belief. The belief of it is pointless to try.
Okay.
That would make sense with struggling for sleep issues for many years.
Right.
So we're going to go ahead and use a script to release this block. So go ahead and repeat after me. I ask to release.
I ask to release.
This block to healing.
This block to healing.
Connected to the belief.
Connected to the belief.
It is pointless to try.
It is pointless to try.
Release it from me.
Release it from me.
And from my posterity.
And from my posterity.
I ask that any and all damage.
I ask that any and all damage.
Created by this block to healing.
Created by this block to healing.
Connected to the belief of it is pointless to try.
Connected to the belief of it is pointless to try.
Might be repaired and healed completely.
Might be repaired and healed completely.
Through the atonement of Jesus Christ.
Through the atonement of Jesus Christ.
Deep breath in. Okay, awesome. Next one. Okay, energy weapons. So energy weapons are energetic weapons that we receive usually from other people, sometimes from the adversary. It's an attack. So if you think of, oh, she just totally stabbed me in the back and your back starts hurting all of a sudden, well, you could have an energetic dagger there. So that's kind of what energy weapons are. So let's see what we need to find out about these energy weapons in order to release them. Do we need to know how many? No. Do we need to know, is it just one? It's just one. What else do we need to know? Location connected to, is this connected to a specific organ? This is an energy weapon in your spleen. Do we need to know more? When it happened. This happened at age 23. Do we need to know more? Okay, so that's enough. So at age 23,
Okay.
probably had somebody that maybe ticked off or something, didn't like you very much, and that energy weapon is in your spleen, and that's creating some dissonance here. So go ahead and repeat after me. I asked to release
I ask to release
this energy weapon
this energy weapon
connected to my spleen
connected to my spleen
at age 23.
at age 23.
Release it from me and from my posterity.
From me and from my posterity.
I ask that any and all damage
I ask that any and all damage
created by this energy weapon
created by this energy weapon
connected to my spleen at 23
connected to my spleen at 23
might be repaired and healed completely through the atonement of Jesus Christ.
might be repaired and healed completely in the name of Jesus Christ.
Perfect. Okay. Okay, where do we go next? Okay, there's a regenerator. A regenerator is an energetic device that basically puts stuff on repeat. So it can put good things on repeat, but more often than not, it's going to be putting something negative on repeat, either a feeling or a belief. And this is a belief. So the belief is everything is a struggle for me. Does that ring true?
It's ridiculous that I know it should, you know what I mean? Like what? Like I knew that, but also I know it shouldn't be, and that's so weird, you know.
Yep. When we have those regenerators, it's like we try everything, like we know that shouldn't be the case, but it keeps coming back, right?
Right.
And on repeat. So let's go ahead and release this regenerator and hopefully get that pattern out of there. I asked to release
I ask to release
this regenerator
of
of the belief everything is a struggle for me.
the belief that everything is a struggle for me.
Release it from me and from my posterity.
Release it from me and from my posterity.
I ask that any and all damage
I ask that any and all damage
created by this regenerator of the belief everything is a struggle for me
of the belief everything is a struggle for me
might be repaired and healed completely
might be repaired and healed completely
through the atonement of Jesus Christ.
through the atonement of Jesus Christ.
Okay, take a deep breath in. Do you need just a minute? Are you okay? Okay, that's a big one, huh? Okay, where are we going next? Okay, this is a resistance to healing connected to a belief, emotion. Okay, this is, so the feeling is shut down, and this is creating a resistance where it makes it hard for your body to basically resist and fights against healing.
Yeah.
Okay, so go ahead and repeat after me. I ask to release
I ask to release
this resistance to healing
this resistance to healing
connected to the feeling of shut down.
connected to the feeling of shut down.
Release it from me and from my posterity.
Release it from me and from my posterity.
I ask that any and all damage
I ask that any and all damage
created by this resistance to healing
connected
connected to the feeling of shut down might be repaired and healed completely through the atonement of Jesus Christ.
might be repaired and healed completely according to the power of Jesus Christ.
Perfect. Okay, where do we need to go next? First one.
Wait in, deep breath.
Okay, you go ahead and take a few, because these feel like they're, like I talked about, like we get damned right now. We get damned as we do try to, we work on healing, and we feel like we're doing everything that we should and can, and it just doesn't progress. And sometimes there's just those dams, those blocks that like your body, your subconscious wants to release them, but we just have to find a name for them. We have to be able to identify them, and then they can shift.
Okay.
This next one is a resistance to divine upgrading. So this
Divine
upgrading,
what?
upgrading. So like, just like we upgrade our phones and upgrade our computers, There's
Okay.
divine upgrading, and sometimes
Right.
we have resistance to that. Um, what else do we need to know about this resistance to divine upgrading? It's an emotion. It's a feeling of ridiculous. So, like an example of why, like how you would feel ridiculous, like your mom made you wear a stupid costume and you felt ridiculous wearing it. Does that make
Yeah.
sense?
Yeah.
Um,
Does.
resistance to divine upgrading. So go ahead and repeat after me. I ask to release
I ask to release
this resistance to divine upgrading,
resistance to divine upgrading,
connected to the feeling of ridiculous.
connected to the feeling of ridiculous.
Release it from me
Release it from me
and from my posterity.
and from my posterity.
I ask that any and all damage
I ask that any and all damage
created by this resistance to divine upgrading,
created by this resistance to divine upgrading,
connected to the feeling of ridiculous,
connected to the feeling of ridiculous,
might be repaired and healed completely
might be repaired and healed completely
through the atonement of Jesus Christ.
through the atonement of Jesus Christ.
Okay, take a deep breath in. That's gone. Okay, where are we going next? You feeling okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay, we're going to work on some generational stuff now. And so much of what we carry is generational. It's been passed down by our ancestors, and we're bearing the brunt of the load. And
Right.
so many times we just have to shift this stuff out of there. And it creates such a momentum of healing when we get the generational stuff out of there. So let's see what comes up. We're still focusing on the sleep problem. Generational, where do we need to go? Okay, these are some generational vows, oaths, or contracts. And these are just things that great grandma was jaded in love and vowed to never love again.
Right.
So, and that just gets, passed on. So let's see how many we're doing. We're doing 1, 2, 3, 4. So we need to release 4 different vows, oaths, or contracts. There's a few other words in there, but that's kind of the main gist. First one is a vow of suffering. I'm gonna do all 4 of them, and then we're gonna release all 4.
Okay.
So a generational vow of suffering. Next one is expectation of failure. So expecting to fail.
Yeah.
Next one is an expectation of pain.
Okay.
Next one is an agreement the agreement is a generational agreement to never feel enough.
Well, if those things could go away.
Yep, let's get rid of them. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay, similar script. I ask to release
I ask to release
this generational vow of suffering.
this generational vow of suffering.
Release it from me and from my posterity.
Release it from me and from my posterity.
And from my ancestors.
And from my ancestors.
Starting with whom it originated.
Starting with whom it originated.
I ask that any and all damage.
I ask that any and all damage.
Created by this generational vow of suffering.
Created by this generational vow of suffering.
Might be repaired and healed completely.
Might be repaired and healed completely.
Through the atonement of Jesus Christ.
Through the atonement of Jesus Christ.
Okay, deep breath. Okay, next one. I ask to release.
I ask to release.
This generational expectation of failure.
This generational expectation of failure.
Release it from me and from my posterity.
Release it from me and from my posterity.
And from my ancestors, starting with whom it originated.
and from my ancestors, starting with whom it originated.
I ask that any and all damage
I ask that any and all damage
created by this generational expectation of failure
created by this generational expectation of failure
might be repaired and healed completely
might be repaired and healed completely
through the atonement of Jesus Christ.
through the atonement of Jesus Christ.
Okay, that's gone. Next one. I ask to release
I ask to release
this generational expectation of pain.
this generational expectation of pain.
Release it from me and my posterity
And release it from me and my posterity
and my ancestors, starting with whom it originated.
and my ancestors, starting with whom it originated.
I ask that any and all damage
I ask that any and all damage
created by this generational expectation of pain
created by this generational expectation of pain
might be repaired and healed completely
might be repaired and healed completely
through the atonement of Jesus Christ.
through the atonement of Jesus Christ.
Okay, awesome. That one's gone. Last one. I ask to release
I ask to release
this generational agreement
this generational agreement
to never feel enough.
to never feel enough.
Release it from me and my posterity
Release it from me and my posterity
and my ancestors, starting with whom it originated.
and my ancestors, starting with whom it originated.
I ask that any and all damage
I ask that any and all damage
created by this generational agreement to never feel enough
created by this generational agreement to never feel enough
might be repaired and healed completely
might be repaired and healed completely
through the atonement of Jesus Christ.
through the atonement of Jesus Christ.
Okay, deep breath in. Okay, awesome. Any more?
Sure.
Can you work on with the sleep? There's a physical, it's coming up, there's a physical addiction to not sleeping. Interesting.
Huh. Right?
Like your body's gotten addicted to not sleeping well.
Right?
But we're gonna release that, and is that it's an energy, like kind of an energy signature.
Okay.
Do we need to know anything more about this? Yes, connected to a belief. I am not good enough is the belief. Okay, let's go ahead and release this. I ask to release
I ask to release
this physical addiction to not sleeping,
physical addiction to not sleeping,
connected to the belief of I am not good enough.
connected to the belief that I am not good enough.
Release it from me and from my posterity.
Release it from me and from my posterity.
I ask that any and all damage
I ask that any and all damage
created by this physical addiction to not sleeping,
created by this physical addiction to not sleeping,
connected with the belief of I am not good enough,
connected with the belief that I am not good enough,
might be repaired and healed completely
might be repaired and healed completely
through the atonement of Jesus Christ.
through the atonement of Jesus Christ.
Awesome. Okay, anything else with sleep we need to explore this time? No. Is there more to explore with sleep? Yes. Can release more in days. Release 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so there is more emotional, energetic work connected with the sleep, but we need to let your body have a healing period of about 6 weeks before we revisit that.
6 weeks? I think I said days. 6 weeks.
It was weeks, yeah.
Okay.
6 weeks. So let's see where we're going next. How, are you feeling okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, awesome. Next that we're going to look at is, you had mentioned that there were heart walls on. It's coming up that it wants to address that. Are you good with looking at that?
I am good with that. I have a question about if it was gone. I mean, I've been told they were gone. So stuff comes back up, stuff wasn't done properly. What's the...
It's a great question. So there's the thing with energy work is it's as good as the questions that you ask and the knowledge that you have. And
Right.
not necessarily you individually, but your practitioner.
Right.
And so I can only speak to my knowledge and my experience. But what I have found when you think that you have cleared a heart wall and then you test and you're like, but now there's another heart wall. So our subconscious is pretty tricky, and it's not linear, and it's multi-layered in
Right.
everything. And
Right.
so we can have a regular traditional heart wall. We
Right.
can have a hidden heart wall. We can have a secret heart wall. We can have a super secret heart wall. We can have an ultra hidden super secret heart wall. So it can attach and have all these different, we can have an ancestral heart wall. We can have there's lots of different heart walls that can be there. And so it's all about having the right words to ask the subconscious and what you're, because sometimes my subconscious and the words that I use might not align with the subconscious of a client. They might I don't recognize that word. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And so when you're testing, it can bring in different things. So let's kind of just see what's going on, what your body wants us to know. Cause I feel like there's maybe a little bit release, but it feels like it's more like, let's give you some information. Like that's kind of what it feels like, but we'll see.
Okay.
So what do we need to know about these heart walls? Is there more than one? No. Are there more than one type? Yes. Do you see the question? I ask, is there more than one? It says no. Are there more than one type? Yes.
So that means there are more than one, but one's glass, one's wood, or whatever.
Different types. So, well, not necessarily different material. Yes, you can go in and test for what material it is, but I honestly, in my practice, have found that that's not really needed to release it. It's more informational, like, oh, that's cool. Like, of course it would be made out of that. I loved Play-Doh as a kid, or there was glass I had big windows in my room, or so it's that making that connection is cool. But usually it's not so much the material, it's more the type. So what do we need to know? We need to identify how many types? No. Identify some of the types. Okay, so we're going to identify some of the types of heart walls that can be identified at this time. So always there's not a boom, you're done point. There just isn't, because we're constantly changing. And so you're going to be going through life. You're going to have experiences that are going to create heart wall emotions that might reform heart walls and things like that. So just keep that in mind. So let's see, we need to find out, is there a regular traditional heart wall present? Yes. So there's regular heart wall. Is there a hidden heart wall? Yes. Hidden. Is there an invisible heart wall? Is there a covert? There's a covert heart wall. Unseen, unsaid, unacknowledged, unknown heart wall. Secret heart wall. Yep. Any other heart walls that we can identify at this time? Yes. One more. Super hidden. There's super secret.
Wow.
What I have found though, as sometimes it can be kind of overwhelming, like, oh my gosh, look at all these different types of heart walls. Usually our traditional heart wall, it's the one that needs the most acknowledgement and kind of coddling a little bit energetically to release. A lot more individualized attention on each of those emotions. But as we get into these more like the hidden and the secret heart walls, usually once we acknowledge it, we can release quite a bit instead of having to be very individualized, which is great because they can clear a lot faster. Okay. Is there a generational heart wall? Yeah. So there's a generational one in there too. Let's see if we can, are any of these ready to clear or clear from? Yes. Can we clear completely any of these heart walls today? Yeah. Look at that. Okay. We can clear the secret heart wall. Okay, we can clear the secret heart wall. So what do we need to know in order to clear the secret heart wall? We need to know how many trapped emotions. Anything else? Nope. So we're just going to count up and acknowledge how many there are there. And then can we release it through 3 swipes? Yep. And then we're going to release it through the three swipes that we learn in emotion code. Okay. So there are 65 different trapped emotions there. And we can release that. Okay. So go ahead, Terry. We're going to do 3 swipes over your head. 1, 2, 3 to release that secret heart wall. And then take a deep breath. Okay. Is there a secret heart wall? No. Awesome. So that's 1 less. Are there any that we can release from any of these heart walls today without negative consequences? Yep. From the regular heart wall? No. From the hidden, from the covert, from the unknown, from the super secret, from the generational. So we're going to release some from your generational heart wall. This is just thanks for, you know, my hair color and my eye color, Grandma, but you also gave me heart wall.
Right.
Nothing, you know. So what do we need to know? What can we release from this generational heart wall? Bulk emotions. Okay, so we're going to just identify several emotions and just how many of that emotion are in that heart wall that we can release. Okay.
Okay.
We're going to do 3 different types of emotions. The first one is sexual trauma. And this is how many instances? 8 instances of sexual trauma. So go ahead and do 3 swipes to release 3 those emotions. Okay, next one. Miserable. How many instances of miserable? Okay, 100 instances of miserable.
Wow.
So go ahead and do 3 swipes to release those from that heart wall. Okay, that's awesome. Next emotion. It's tortured. How many instances? 3. 3 instances of tortured. So go ahead and do 3 swipes to release those. Okay, awesome. There are more emotions in the generational heart wall. Yes, we can release any more in days, weeks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So in 6 weeks, your body will be ready to release more from that as well.
Okay.
Okay. Any of these other heart walls that we need to look at today? No, just be aware that they're there. And then in the future, either with me and on your own with another practitioner, you can say, hey, I've got these heart walls. And just let your body let you know what order they need to come down and how they need to come down. Okay. Anything else with the heart walls we need to be aware of today? No. Okay, awesome. Where are we going next? We are going to look at the tension. So what do we need to know about this tension? Okay, some emotions. Okay, so first off, I'm going to have you release absorbed emotions. This is when we kind of act like a sponge and we soak up the feelings around us. So go ahead and do 3 swipes and take a deep breath to release those absorbed emotions. Okay, awesome. Next, we're going to do some emotional compounds. These are also known as psychic traumas. It's when 2 or more emotions occur at the same time and create their own little special like recipe combination. Right. How many emotional compounds are we releasing? Are we able to release today without negative side effects? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're going to do 6. Okay, and we're just going to see what the recipe is for that emotion, each emotional compound. Okay. First one has 1, 2, 3. Has 3 different emotions. Shame plus victim plus horrified. Age, yes, 420. This is at age 18.
Okay.
Okay. So go ahead and do 3 swipes to release this emotional compound of shame, victim, and horrified at age 18. Deep breath in. Okay, awesome. That one's gone. Next one has has 2 emotions. Love unreceived plus self-loathing at age 21. So go ahead and do the 3 swipes to let that go. Okay, awesome. That's gone. Next one. 1, 2 has 2 emotions. Malicious and worried at age 14. So malicious and worried at age 14. Go ahead and do the 3 swipes to release that. Awesome. Next one has 1, 2 has 2. This is resisting femininity. So just resisting that feminine identity. And violated at 21. Go ahead and do 3 swipes and let that go. You doing okay? We got 2 more. Loathing. Loathing and unwanted at age 18. Go ahead and let that go. Okay, last one, 2. Stuck and willful at age 24. Go ahead and do the 3 swipes, let that go. Okay, did any of those like ring true for those times in your life, or?
I don't remember specifically. I don't have
Okay.
any. Yeah.
I'm just curious. Sometimes it's so interesting with energy work, and everybody is so different. Some people are like, boom, I knew exactly what this was. And I tend to be like, sure, maybe, I don't remember. That's
Right.
usually how I am. So that's the beauty of it. It's like, we don't have to remember, and we just have to know, hey, there it is. Let's let it go. Which that's something I love, because I know there's a lot of baggage that we all carry, and we just need to get the trash out, right? Okay, where are we going next? Still with attention? Yes. Okay, this is a resistance to healing, an emotion. The feeling of smothered. That's all we need to know. So ask to release.
I asked to release
This resistance to healing.
this resistance to healing.
Connected to the feeling of smothered.
Connected to the feeling of smothered.
Release it from me and from my posterity.
Release it from me and from my posterity.
I ask that any and all damage
I ask that any and all damage
created by this resistance to healing
created by this resistance to healing,
connected to the feeling of smothered,
connected to the feeling of smothered,
might be repaired and healed completely
might be repaired and healed completely
through the atonement of Jesus Christ.
through the atonement of Jesus Christ.
Anything else? Okay, can we release? Is there more to release with attention? Yes. In days, weeks, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, 6 weeks looks like the magic number for your body's kind of recovery time. Okay, anything else to look at today? Yes. Anything for anxiety? No. The other stuff, okay, I felt like the things that we did with the sleep and the tension are going to help overlap with that the anxious feelings, okay?
Right.
What else do we need to know to help Teri today? Can we release anything else? No more releases. What do we need to be aware of? Okay, some essential oils that can help. Okay, a custom roller. And let's see, this is going to be a 10 milliliter. And you're going to mix it in the order list that I give you.
Yeah.
Okay, how many bottles? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, 1, 2. Okay. Lavender. 10 drops lavender.
Okay.
Wild orange. 30 drops wild orange.
Okay.
Twenty drops bergamot.
You said 20?
Yep. 1 drop Melissa.
Don't have Melissa.
What would be a good substitute for Melissa? Sorry. Okay, you can do frankincense instead. Melissa would be super awesome because it, especially with our emotions, like anxious feelings or depressive feelings, it is like the big guns.
Okay.
So
maybe get a hold of some of that, but today don't have that.
No, you're good. You're good. Just I would stick that on your wish list for sure.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
we're gonna do instead. We can do frankincense. 10 drops of frankincense. Do you have frankincense?
Yes.
Okay. 10 frank. Okay, next one. Ylang ylang. 15 drops of ylang ylang.
15?
Yep.
Okay.
Grapefruit.
Yeah.
5 drops grapefruit.
Okay.
Um, 3 drops petitgrain. Do you have petitgrain?
Maybe.
Okay. If you get in there and you don't, just send me a message. This is
what would replace it if I didn't?
If you don't have petitgrain, what would be a good replacement? Siberian or white fir.
Okay.
Because petitgrain is what it is emotionally great for. And that's what this oil is, a real emotional healer. We're not so much looking for the physical benefits, it's more the emotional benefits. And petitgrain helps us break generational chains.
Okay.
Generational patterns.
I think that's why I've been talking about it with Siri recently. So I don't remember if I bought it or if she just told me to buy it. But
and she was just telling, yeah.
Right.
It's on your radar. So
out there. Right.
If you don't, then equal drops. Yeah, equal drops. The 3 drops, either Siberian fir or white fir, if you don't have the petitgrain, because those 2 oils are also really great for generational work. Okay, next oil. This is our last one. One drop peppermint. And then you'll fill it up with FCO. Let's see where this needs to go. Specific place, yes. So this needs to go in your sacral chakra, which your sacral chakra is just below your belly button. It's kind of over your like uterine area. And this chakra this is kind of like our divine identity space. This is the chakra that the energy for our just divine true identity lies. And you need to get that reclaimed and balanced. And so you're going to apply this on your sacral chakra once a day in the mornings. So you're just going to get up and just roll it on there in a circle. You want to do it, it's clockwise. So it's like up the right, down the left. Does that make sense?
Clockwise if somebody's looking at me.
Yeah.
Right.
Chakra in the morning. Okay. Anything else we need to know about this blend? No. So I would encourage you to do you have an Emotions and Essential Oils book or the app?
I have the book. It's outdated, but
That's fine. Most of these oils.
The third edition that was made in 2014 is what I have.
So that should have everything except for probably the Pettigrain, which I already told you that's for breaking generational chains. Right. I encourage you to look in that book and look up each of these oils to kind of see the picture and let your intuition guide you on what this emotional blend is going to be doing for you.
Okay.
This is going to be, I'm excited. Like, I think this is really going to create a good shift for you. Okay. And create a lot of positive things. It might bring out some ugly stuff that just needs to get cried out or screamed out to the wall or whatever. So be aware if that does pop up. But I feel overall it's going to be very much just cleansing and just freeing and just empowering. Okay.
Okay.
What else do we need to know for Teri? Any other oils? Okay. Are we any positive programming we need to put in? Yes. So we're going to do a positive programming. Okay, we're going to put in, let's see. We're going to put in a programming kind of with an affirmation. So every time you wash your hands, this programming gets renewed and put in. We're going to get 3. It's going to be kind of like an affirmation a little bit, but it's going to be a little bit more entailed than just a simple affirmation statement. Let me just get the words that we need real quick. Okay. So the 3 words are receptive, hopeful, and healing.
Receptive, hopeful, and healing.
So we're just going to ask to put the programming in that every time you wash your hands, you receive, you align your body and your energy and your spirit to be receptive, hopeful, and healing. And so I would just kind of like, if you're stuck, if you're feeling stressed, you're feeling anxious, you're feeling whatever, I want you just to kind of repeat those 3 words. Okay. I am receptive, I am hopeful, I am healing. And then anytime you wash your hands, just energetically, it's going to give you kind of a refresh and a recharge of the energy of those words. Anything else we need to know about that? No. Okay. Anything else we need to look at other than the end of session frequency? No. Okay. So let's test and see where your frequency is at now that we've done a bunch of releases. Okay, so you're at 1,619 now. That's a pretty big jump from the 300 to the 1,619. Right. So we released a lot today, some really big stuff. Make sure you're drinking a bunch of water and resting as much as you can. How are you feeling right now?
Kind of heavy.
Okay, because I feel like those dams are going to be flushing through. So if you feel emotional today, take some time just to cry it out and just let that come. Drink a lot of water just to help flush all of that out so it's not staying in there and getting stuck. Okay. If the dam keeps flowing past today, just shoot me a message and we'll see if there's anything that we can do to either slow the flow or adjust to help it so it's more comfortable. But is it
Talk to me
heavy?
about
And it,
the 6 weeks thing. It's not as though I'm going to still struggle for 6 more weeks. That's not what that number is. I know that, but it's kind of stuck. And I'm wondering if you could kind of talk just for a second about what you felt as far as, am I on a journey? Am I, is like the end in sight soon? Is the end, is it a while? I know that you can't know that exactly because we don't know what's underneath what you just did.
yeah.
But I know you've
Oh,
worked with a lot of people also who, I mean,
yeah.
I read the Carol Tuttle books who in one session they were better, right? And that's not my case. So then I start to feel like, okay, if not just one, then none are going to do in like.
That's a great question. So I typically don't feel like how long the journey is going to be. Sometimes I'll be like, this is going to be a while.
Right.
For you, it really feels like that dam that I described. Like there's been a lot of work, but there's just been things that have prevented them, all that you've worked on, from getting out. And I feel like we released a portion of that today. I don't feel like we released
Right.
everything, but I feel
Right.
that we released a portion of that that's going to help the work that you've done in the past, the work that you currently do just on a daily basis, will allow that to progress and to see more results.
Right.
It feels like it's going to be very important for you just to surround yourself with high vibration, positive things. Be very mindful. Like I would be super discerning. Like watch the shows, the podcasts, the people you follow on Facebook, the websites you go to, the things you watch on TV. Pretend it's like Sunday and like you're just being very like, I am not letting any negativity in. Because I think that it feels like there's kind of an attraction that your subconscious has to negativity. And so
Yeah.
if there's anything that's going to be out there, it's almost going to like grab onto it. And not that you even consciously realize it, but it just is going to bring you down. And it takes sometimes a while for our bodies to get used to a higher vibration. And especially because there were a couple resistance to healing, there was that resistance to divine upgrading, that you gotta have to set yourself up for success by surrounding yourself with positive things. And so I would definitely seek out positivity, seek out things that you know are going to uplift you, people that you know are going to uplift you. um, it feels like that part of it is you need to claim your own power and not necessarily look outside as much as you have for people to solve the struggles that you've had. I feel like
Right.
God has given you many gifts that lay dormant or unused because there's too much, I'm going to get help from this person or this source. And comparison to like that, like in the book, they were healed in one time. Examples like that I think are extreme and not they're not the exception. They're not the rule. I think most
Right.
of us, it's a journey. And it's a journey that just, it's kind of like life. It doesn't end. We kind of endure to the end. And so you'll have these points where you get over a certain mountain of that mountain range, right? In healing. And just keep going, because every step you take is getting you closer to where you want to be. And I've seen that in my own experience, that because I do a lot of work on myself, just as a practitioner for me. And then I also seek out, I have a couple other healers that I work with that help me see those blind spots. And so when I
Right.
told you, like, don't, like, be careful about reaching too much out, it's okay to ask for help. It's okay to have people like me or other healers that help guide you. But don't have that be your 100% relying on them, right? You
Right.
have gifts and God wants you to discover them. So things that I might have said might spark ideas or things that, or concepts that maybe you hadn't visited before, that you can pray and ponder on and let God teach you what you need to know about those things and what you can do and what your part is in your healing journey. But you are already enough and you are already amazing, and God loves you just as you are. And I know it can be frustrating when we've got physical things that our body is like, why isn't my body not cooperating? Why can't I get to sleep? Why can't I relax? Why can't I feel at peace? Those struggles are there so that we can learn and discover our gifts. I
Okay.
promise you that. So sometimes it's just about asking different questions as we are seeking, what do I need to know from this trial? What do I need to know? What do I need to learn? Or what question do you need me to ask about this? And he can guide and teach you. And it's usually little bitty steps by little bitty steps. And a book, oh, your video just disappeared, but that's okay.
Yeah, a call tried to come through, but they're gone.
That's okay. We'll get them later.
That's why I wanted it to be on the iPad.
It's all good. Hey, we only had one call, so that's good. But God will put little breadcrumbs along our journey. They can be people, books, ideas, resources that help us blossom and grow into who he knows we can be. And so this is just a breadcrumb. And I might be a couple breadcrumbs. I don't know.
Right.
The things that we release today might allow for more breadcrumbs to be seen and for you to follow. And so I know that's probably, I can't give you, hey, it's going to be a year, it's going to be 10 years.
Right.
I don't think that's how this journey works. It's about focusing on the steps in front of us and being grateful for the present and having gratitude in the present, regardless of what that struggle looks like. Because when we have that gratitude, Heavenly Father can teach us so much more, and he gives us those struggles so we can learn. And it really feels that you've got some amazing gifts that need to be discovered and developed through this journey. So I encourage you to seek those out and discover and let them develop. Is that helpful?
Yeah. The heavens feel very close to me lately, but maybe this changes things.
And when they're closed, I've experienced that. And when we step forward and continue in faith, even when it feels like that foundation is gone, when it's falling on deaf ears, it's not. It's to prove that we will choose him no matter what. And I've lived that, and I know that to be true. And I know that how dark it feels when the heavens feel closed. I know that feeling. But I also know what happens when they open, because I continue to knock and I continue to seek, and I didn't give up. So continue, keep fighting. It's worth it, and it will happen. And maybe ask, how can I open the heavens again? How can I feel you again? And you might get some guidance there.
Right.
It might not come in that instance when you pray, but it might come through some, a video or something you read in the scriptures, or, something that's said that is like, oh, there's my answer. And so anyway.
Yeah. Thank you for your time.
You're very, very welcome. Thank you for letting us record this, and I will send you the raw recording, and and I will send you typed out notes. And if in 6 weeks you're like, hey, I want to do a session, let me know, and we can get that set up. If you don't, that's totally fine too.
Right.
I am removed from the results. I just please keep in touch. If you are feeling yucky tomorrow or the next day, just let me know. Because we release some really big stuff. So sometimes we just need to release an emotion or tweak something to keep it going smooth. So.
Okay.
Hey.
Thank you so much.
You're so welcome, Teri. Thank you so much. And I'll keep you in my prayers that everything will process smoothly, and you will feel better and be able to get those answers that you're seeking.
How can I add you to my prayers? What can I pray for you?
What do I pray for? My missionary, that she will
Okay.
be in high spirits as she's quarantined.
Okay.
That would be awesome. Thank you for asking.
Perfect. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, have a great one,
You
and we'll
too.
see you online soon.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.